happening, everybody? This is Joseph R. Wheeler III, the artist, the founder, the president of the ONYXCON Foundation. What's good with everybody? How y'all doing? Make some noise in here. When I say make some noise, I mean hit that subscribe button if you don't forgot to do it for the 500th time. If you don't got up to 500 times looking and never liking and never subscribing, you need to just go jump off a cliff. But everybody else, welcome back. Thank you so much. All my real subscribers, all my people who about to push us well over, and I do mean well over 1,700. That's right. We right there at it, y'all. It's gonna happen today, 1,700, y'all. 1,700, 1,700. It sounds even stronger when you put 1,000. 1,700. That's 300 away from 200. 2,000, excuse me. 2,000 is what I meant to say. You know, 17, I just going to round that up. 2,000 is coming. 2,000 is coming. Do you understand? When we get to 2,000, this channel must be monetized. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Because we're still working on that 4,000 watch hours, which is why every time I do this and every time I chop it up with y'all and every time I remind y'all to subscribe, to support, to do your small part is easy. You know, all you gotta do is subscribe and like everything you watch. Make sure you subscribe. Come back daily, if not weekly. We'll take monthly if you just don't have the time. But if you're gonna do monthly, we need you to sit down and watch like movie length content. We need you to catch up so hard that you watch all the shorts. Oh, and that's a lot of shorts. That's a lot of shorts because I post shorts every day. All the shorts, all the long videos, especially the long videos. That's where we need it because it's quicker to monetize off of your long content than it is shorts. But the crazy thing, here's what you realize doing YouTube. And this is factual. I've done enough research at this point. I've got this down to a science, not only from watching other people's videos and people who actually work for YouTube explaining this, okay? Like I always tell y'all about that interview, the sister, the beautiful black young lady, I follow her, I forget her name. Her whole channel is about how to get on YouTube and be successful. And just in general, you know, being e-commerce based, you know, having money online. She does all of that. And she got an exclusive interview with the guy who does the algorithm, who's in charge of the algorithm for this very thing called YouTube. And I forget his name, but it was in a previous live. I broke it down. I had all that day. It was the day I actually saw it. I was fresh off it, so I had my notes. But point is, I saved it. So I think if you look under the business, it might be under there, because I think that's where I put it in our playlist. Which I always tell y'all, you got to check out the playlist because that's the channel. Basically, that's the channels within the channel. That's the shows. That's how I break up what shows go with what content goes with what. And some stuff is a double up. You know, I might have something that relates to something similar of another page, so you'll find it in some of the same folders. But for the most part, everything's going in one particular folder. And this phone holder, I swear to gosh, it's gonna make me burn it today. Got my phone falling while I'm here. Man, come on now. I can't stand that. That's why I tell y'all all the time, man, support, because financially it's real. I need another device, I need to go buy one today, but I ain't got the money to do that. Quite frankly, I gotta be on it. I'm out here, I'm working right now as usual. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep the roof over ONYXCON's head first. Okay, the studio got to be paid for. When we get that right, we got the fuel in the tank and everything else, then we get to all this other stuff. Which is why I also say, even if you can't donate, but I wish you would, okay? At ONYXCON on Venmo, # ONYXCON on Cash App. And if you still do PayPal, because PayPal actually owns Venmo, but most people just say, people just go straight to Venmo now. It's a little bit more the way people move with the money. So that's why I always mention the Venmo and I don't hardly ever mention the PayPal, but it's there. It's our email, onyxcon@gmail.com. All right. If you buy some serious business, you can get in touch with us there. So yeah, you can always donate. You can always donate any amount. No amount is too, when I say no amount is too little, $5 and up is real talk. The very device I'm talking about was $5. It's just a little simple something I got at, and I don't mind mentioning this store because I bought so many cool things from there, but I got it from Five Below. And it's a good thing. It's just, it done got old, man. It ain't gonna last forever. It wasn't built to, but it definitely, it's done its due. I can't be too mad at it, but I am mad at it that when I needed to just clamp the damn phone. It don't. What it is, the part that clamps don't want to clamp no more. The springs have gotten old. The plastic is getting old. You know, we talking about hot summers, cold winters. All that stuff stretches and compresses plastic. It stretch, compress, and it cracks. And literally, like these little backing parts that I ain't gonna show y'all because I'm, you know, safely driving here. But they have these little rods in the way the structure of the clamp. It's like a top and bottom clamp on your phone. And when that clamp is in place properly, it'll hold. It ain't gonna let go. But now it's getting old. The strings, I saw one of the springs done popping, it slides down all the time. And I'm just like, God damn. So, so it's just time to get another one. It's time to get something else. I really wouldn't mind finding another one because, hell, this one lasted me, man, at least 2 years, maybe 3. You can't beat that. You can't beat that for $5. So, like I say, anybody want to donate at least even $5, it goes a long way. I appreciate you, you know. And anybody got that heavier change to drop, you know what I'm saying? You can drop 25, 50, 100. Come on with it, please. And if you're a real baller, like you really, truly love the content, and you want to support, because let me tell you now, 50 and up will already get your logo featured in some content. The way you saw all these people's logos and shout outs that I kept doing that same commercial throughout all my main content through Labor Day. And I told y'all this is how I do it. I mean, you know, it's proof of the pudding if you're new to the channel. Anybody who been here, you know how I get down. You know how I get down. I always support. I always shout my people out. I always love for those who make it happen, because literally that's why that content is available. It's because people donated. It's because through their donations, I had the leeway to get the gas. I had the leeway to take the time off from work to make the content, because otherwise I gotta be in the car every damn day out here, you know, doing this typical American way when you are in a gig-based fixed income as I am. You know, I do a gig-based because I do like I always say, I live the real art life, y'all. This is the real art life. This ain't the one that, you know, is all cushy and easy. And I wish it were. I deserve it to be, but it ain't what it is. And it's just, you know, America don't really respect the arts. I always say that, and I mean that. Most of America don't even know what the hell art really is. Some people, a lot of people do. Enough people for us to have an audience. And then most importantly, I got an international audience. Shout out to my international audience, man. Because y'all part of that 1,700 strong, please believe it. Shout out to the Philippines. Shout out to Mexico. Shout out to República Dominicana. Shout out to Russia. Shout out to the Ukraine. Shout out to UK. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brazil. Shout out to India. Oh my gosh, India loves my channel. I appreciate my Indians, man. Indians is representing full. Shout out to Korea, South Korea. Shout out to China. Shout out to all these places that I want to go to, by the way. I want to visit all these places I'm mentioning at the right time, right place, right city, right whatever. I really do. I want to come see you. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. And you don't stop. Hip freak, y'all. Because you're so unique, y'all. Y'all. Trying to make it grab, but it ain't really. I don't know if y'all can hear it crinkling and what. Yeah, it's got to be something new soon. I have some old. I don't think that's gonna work. As soon as I said the idea, I don't think it's gonna work. But I got some old car clamp things that had the sticky pad, and the sticky pad don't work no more. And I'm thinking, man, maybe I can finagle something where I glue the clamp, take this part off, and replace it with another clamp, glue it onto this device, and make it work. You know what I mean? Because hey, I've done it before. I've improvised, and some of my stuff that I've done that for. Speaking of another device I created, I have a thing that I use when I go fishing. Insta360 has some of the same. I don't know who has the original patent, but the devices that you use to clamp a GoPro, they use the exact same system, but it might be a little bit different or something. Of course, there might be something a little different about it, so that it don't work with a GoPro. You know, they don't want anything to be interchangeable. You know how they do between companies. But the original device, it's a chest cam thing. It's like you strap it on. You see a lot of anglers wearing it when they're in tournaments, because that way all you gotta do is hit your little button on your camera, beep, and it's, or you can even have it where it's voice activated, like camera on, and it's pow, it come on. And the Insta360 I got, it will do that, but I just don't use the voice no more because it doesn't respond as efficient. It's typical AI. It don't really hear what it think it hear, and it come on when it's not supposed to come on, and I don't play with that. It does have a little remote that I've used, and that's pretty cool. But even then, it's like something super easy to lose. It's like something, little dial that can go on your keychain. And when you fishing, man, nobody got time to reach for that. You in the moment. So what I always do is, once I got to the point where I found that the original little cam, the way it sits on your chest, it just didn't really work for me, and I would rather do it with my phone. So I found a way, because I think it actually got damaged anyway, just by chance. And after that, I said, okay, I'm gonna break this whole part off. That was the original mount for the other device, for the 360 device. And because it was a flat surface, I used super glue, and I glued an old backing of a phone clamp for in your car. And then I'm so glad I didn't throw it away, because I would have just recycled it, like, I'll put this in the recycle pile for plastic. But I said, no. I said, let me hold on to this thing. And I literally got it where it glued it down to this surface, and it's been there I've been to Mexico, Malaysia, every video of just about y'all have seen in the last probably 5 years, where you can see it from the perspective where it looks like you're me fishing, because you see my hands and you see the casting, and you see the reeling. All that's from that chest cam unit, typically. Sometimes it might be, I put the actual 360 on my head and do that, where you see it from that perspective. But other than that, it's right here. This is my number 1 way of doing it. So again, these devices get old, the plastic expands, it contracts, it expands, contract, expand, and so it's getting to the point now where it still holds, it still will clamp, but I really have to, I can hear the springs. It's the springs. They get old, they start tripping. And I'm like, man, damn, I gotta get another something for this, because if I don't, I ain't trying to hear I'm somewhere in the Caribbean leaning over a boat, catching the fish of a lifetime, and the damn phone falls in the ocean. No, we're not living none of that life. Hell to the no, right? So, yeah. This is just, I'm really just giving y'all kind of I was about to say Christmas list, but hell, my birthday coming up. So it's like the birthday list of things that makes what I do more possible. So for real, if you can donate, it will be used. It's not a game. If you know the channel, you know how I get down. Everything is something, even the stuff that just seems like, he just having fun, whatever. No, my fun becomes content that if you're paying attention, I'm gonna tell you some. I'm gonna give you some history lessons. I'm gonna tell you some things you didn't know. It's edutainment, and if you desire, if it's objects and things, and you like the stuff too, well then you're in the right place, because we're gonna have a conversation about how we can all get to it. It's like my recent videos where I did the unboxing of my latest cap, this strap back cap, the Chicago Bulls joint that I love. Absolutely love that cap, and I'm literally, it's going to be a special occasion type of thing. I ain't going to be wearing that one a lot. I'm going to wear it. I'm a damn sure get a lot of wear of it. But I will, some things I keep on the shelf, and they like special occasion only, like special fit combination only. And that's what I'm going to showcase it for y'all. That's what I'm going to, because I want to show y'all how to put stuff together. Like, some people literally do watch fashion content because they're trying to get a better understanding of color and shape and form, the basics of art and how stylists think. And, I've never worked professionally as a stylist, but I know when I get fresh, I'm undeniably fresh, All you gotta do is count the way people react to your stuff in a day, man. You know when you own. You know when you walk in the room and every lady look like, well, damn. All the fellas gotta give respect. They're like, all right then, bro, I see you. You know when you're doing it, right? So I get that energy when I'm in my best, So I can showcase that. I can share how to do that. And then I even do that even through gaming. Like when I play Cyberpunk 2077, because you can get dressed and you can get all these fly outfits in the game, I show people, hey, yo, if you're a gamer, if you want to get your character looking like something, not just any old random, look like you just, like, maybe you do that in real life, but maybe you honestly tired of being that person. You just don't know no better. Well, I can show you better, you know? And through a video game, I can teach you how to dress straight the hell up, you know? And it comes from experience. About to be 50 years of it. You know, there was a time in my life, I wasn't always the kid who gave a damn about what my clothes was like. When I was a little kid, man, I didn't care. I may have had favorite pieces like, oh man, I really like that shirt. I like this, whatever that my parents bought me. But I wasn't into it. Like, I didn't truly get serious about fashion or caring about it or liking, making sure that, you know, stuff match or stuff goes together within some form of color wheel, you know. Here's the palette, here's what I'm combining. Do these things go together? Do they make you want to puke when you see these colors together? You know, like, all of that's serious. That's really a science, right? This is art. It's a science to it, but the science goes with the art. And the art is always first. It's creativity over everything, right? So I'm saying, like, it wasn't really important to me until high school, which is typical of most people, but I'll say especially fellas, because, yo, you trying to get the attention of the girls. You want to get your little moments. You want to feel like some honeys is checking you out and somebody told you was cute for the day. I mean, come on, man. That, you know, that matters all through life, but especially at that age, boy, you be like, man, you live off a damn compliment. I know grown-ass men in my crew still will tell stories about such and such told me I was cute in third period, man. You couldn't tell me nothing. And we all laugh because that was heavy. That was currency back then. That was the finest girl in the class told you what? Man, she said I was that dude that day. What? You know, that's that stuff, right? So it wasn't mattering to me till about high school, and I remember the moment when it kind of shifted, and it was a gradual process because I always cared about. Well, I actually, you know what? Should I say? I could really say middle school started, but even though I liked what I would wear and everything, I didn't necessarily feel like I wasn't caring about girls then. Maybe about high school, yeah, definitely. I mean, I still have my little crushes always, but hell, crushes go back to elementary school. But I may have like not even gave a damn until, I put it like that. I didn't really give a damn and want to impress a little bit until high school. But up until then, I did still, you know, wear some fly stuff I remember being cool. Because I can remember in middle school, I was deep is when I started my special love, because I always had it, but special love for like sportswear. And this is when all that stuff became standard urban wear. A lot of people, you know, a lot of y'all young folk, y'all think this stuff always been like this. I always tell the story. I say, look, you got to understand, until my generation, what y'all call urban wear, streetwear, first of all, these weren't even terms. Do you hear what I just said? These were not terms. No one said urban wear, street wear. That was not a category in clothing, in the fashion industry. That stuff did not develop until the 80s, until hip hop. Hip hop literally put that on the map. Hip hop literally made wearing your favorite team a thing. Wearing a jersey, wearing a baseball cap with an insignia on it that was, you know, the actual logo of the team or something else special or whatever, but it was a shout out to your favorite teams, you know, and logos and just wearing a whole lot of logos and a whole lot of, that was not a thing until then. And you can prove it. All you gotta do is look back in time. In the 70s, people wasn't walking around with a long name down their arm and on their back on some really cool, silky, flyaway collar shirt or a pair of bell bottoms. You know, you didn't see Versace written out on the side of a pair of bell bottoms. They didn't do that shit back then. That all came in the 80s. My generation literally made that happen. My generation and the generation right before me, like folks who are in their 60s now. That's it. Anybody in their 60s, anybody in their 50s, 40s, we the ones. And it pretty much stops right there because, you know, 30s, they was too baby to really, you know, they catching the tail end of it after it was already well established. Yes, they do continue, you know, everybody's holding the flag and holding the torch to this day, but in terms of who established it, people in their 60s, 50s, and 40s. That's us. I'm telling you, that's real. That's the truth. It's not debatable. It's like, that's where that came from. Wearing Jordans, and Michael Jordan was not even in the NBA until when? All right? Do your research, get the dates. It all adds up. You know, he got his deal with Nike. What year? It all adds up. Him and Spike Lee did the famous commercial. It's got to be the shoes. The shoes. And Spike was playing his character from his movie, Mars Blackman. Okay? And all of that is literally what launched the obsession with Jordans and all that. That literally came out of that advertisement, that moment, that connection through hip-hop cultures. Notice I say plural cultures. Over here, we don't do that for the culture because there's no one. And when you pigeon yourself like that, you got to be claiming alliance to stuff that you don't even agree with. I don't believe in that. I say, look, be an individual, have your boundaries, and yes, acknowledge that where we intersect, we intersect. But where we don't, that's you and this is me. Stay in your lane. We do it for the cultures with a Z or with an S. I made the hashtag. Don't ever forget it. That's real talk. So, you know, it's just different when you understand these things like that. So like I say, by the time everything got more established and all of that, like I'm saying, was going on, I loved like starter jackets and all that stuff. I couldn't even get a starter jacket. I used to wear sweatshirts and sweatpants with logos and teams and everything. I used to have full top bottom sets. They used to have these sets where you would have like a top and a bottom that was it was a matching set. It was like you could either buy them together or separate, but they were meant to be worn as a whole look, you know. And then you could try and get a pair of sneakers to match. Oh man, and top it off with a cap to match. Oh man, you fresh as fresh gonna get. Don't mess around and have a jacket too. Now, you know, some people wouldn't overkill it like that, but others would. That was a look. It really was. Like you top to bottom, whatever that team is. What is this? This is. No, that's not it. Hold on, y'all. I gotta focus for a minute here. Making sure I'm in the right space. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So, I was saying, as we talk about fashion, we're doing some ONYXCON style chit chat right now. That's what we on. That's the element we dealing with right now. You know, we have the elements here, just like hip hop. We do the elements here. All right. So, as I was saying, it's basically like, hold on, let me get this thing with the sun ain't making that hard into it. I want y'all to be able to see me. Okay, it's good. It's good. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There we go. Cool. So, you know, a lot of people, like I say, back in the day, the way it fits with like that, it was very sporty. And then you also still had, you had dress wear, you had semi-formal and all that. All that was, of course, because that's the origin of a lot of Western clothing, you know, the combination of the European traditions with all the other cultures that infused with it, you know, and we get what we get with, like, from business suits to polos to khakis to hard bottoms dress shoes, you know what I mean? But sneakers and sneaker culture, like literally until the era of Jordan and Ewing and all these other super mega star players, and that was in other sports too, football, I mean, you know, the whole nine, everything, basketball. When we got all those baseball, and when they started realizing endorsements was a way to sell to a whole new market and generation of kids, young folks like myself that admired all these people and wanted to wear things to salute our allegiance to those teams. And then it became a thing where, yo, you know, this for everybody, the whole family, not just kids wear it. I mean, the adults too. You don't have to still be young enough to play a sport, whatever age you are. Wear the gear, root your team on, blah, 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 blah. And then we get everything we got and how it is. And I saw it go through every phase of it. From, you know, the throwback jersey era in the early 2000s with the extra long, extra large jerseys. Like, they were making up jerseys that didn't even exist. It was totally customized, most of it. And, you know, companies that were doing, quote unquote, the legit ones, the knockoff ones, the whatever. But hey, if you was fresh, you was fresh. All right? And just, yeah, man, I done lived through all that, all them time periods, all those looks. And all of that has influenced my style. And You know, as far as formal wear, I got into suits and stuff in high school officially, and really never was buying a lot of suits. I just knew I took suits for granted. I always, you know, it was like I was on some kid stuff like, oh man, I don't want to ever have a job where I got to wear a suit. I mean, and I did stick to that motto more or less until I got into acting much later in life and realized, shit, not only is that a good look, but that's where the money is. Yeah, like, you know, that's, waiting on this clock, there it is. That's where the money was and still is. I mean, it's kind of messed up, but it's still reality. It's like the film biz reflects society in America, how if you work a corporate job, typically a certain level of corporate job, that makes more money than labor jobs, service jobs, which it doesn't make no sense. I'm bringing you your food. I'm making the roads that you drive on. I built the building that you do business in. It don't make no sense, but you know, this is the world they created. This is what they got going until we say enough is enough. That's a whole nother conversation. We ain't gonna get into the long in and out of how to do that today. It's just an attitude and an understanding about value amongst everybody's position in society, and especially the artists. Man, we should be so revered. We are literally the entire thing. Like everything you love about life itself is because of the creations of artists. We make life worth living. If there was no creativity, you would have absolutely, and I do repeat, absolutely nothing to appreciate. Because everything you do appreciate is art, whether you see it that way or not. Ladies with your makeup and your outfits and your shoes, fellas with your outfits and your shoes and your hats, your jacket, your whatever it is, man. I don't care what jewelry, whatever it is. Your favorite team, they don't get out there and play naked. You love them jerseys. That's why I was saying people buy them damn jerseys, right? It's an art. This is fashion. This is style. There's no way around it. Man, did you hear that new track? Oh, I love so-and-so. I'm going to this concert. I'm going to her concert. Music. You cannot escape the arts or the power of the arts. We are the reason for living. After survival, everything is the arts. Everything. We are what people fight wars for, quite frankly. People say resources. Well, what you gonna do with the resources? Well, we need gas. But yeah, but what do you need gas for? We got a fuel to get where? To do what? For people to go to work. Okay, keep going. What do they do? Do people just work to be working? This is the problem with America right now. Most of us are just working to be working. And that's why people are fed up. Some of us got enough sense to know this ain't it. This ain't life. I work so I can travel. I work so I can spend more time with my family. So I can be at home with my family, my friends, my pets, my whatever makes me happy. So I can catch up on my shows, art. So I can go to the movies, art. So I can go shopping, art. It's all art galleries. Every store you go in is set up to give you a visual appeal to make you want to buy something. And whatever it is you're buying, art. I said after survival. So any of y'all being smart asses talking about, what are you talking about? I go to the grocery store? Yeah, I can go hard. I can go into that too. You wouldn't buy it if the label didn't look cool. Somebody give you two products, same thing, same exact thing. It could be the same thing in it, made by the same company. If one logo looks like shit and the other one is dynamic, bold, beautiful, colorful, makes you smile, you gonna buy that one. Art. Package design, art. We are everything. Do you understand me? Artists make the world go round. Why do you go on vacation? Depending on your age, depending on your demographic, your everything about you, you know, everything. Whatever it is that you want to see when you get there. Why is Dominican Republic one of the most visited countries in the world? Because it's gorgeous, okay? It's physically beautiful in its best parts. And it's I keep stressing the best part. In its best parts, the people are nice, can be friendly. I'm saying I experienced both sides of that, but most people are friendly. They understand the power of tourism in their country. They're beautiful people, gorgeous women. I'm gonna speak from my side of it as a man. Oh my gosh, the women alone are powering flights and tickets. Please believe it. The music, the arts. You know, the beauty of a woman in itself, the beauty of any human being, how we express ourselves to showcase our beauty is an art. So like I said, art. We are works of art, y'all. Universe blessed. You understand? Yeah, I said universe blessed. That's what I said. Whatever your religion, fill in what you like to hear and put that before blessed if that makes you feel better. I said universe, and I mean that. All things considered, all as one. The universe blessed. Forever and a day. So, man, it's just so heavy to my heart and to my soul to know what it is that I do, what it is I contribute being an artist, and why I don't take for granted. I sometimes ease back on getting this deep about it because every now and then I give y'all these reminders when I just go on these tangents because I want y'all to know, man, it's not a game, it's serious. Like, that's how deep I look at this whole thing I'm doing. When I say ONYXCON, I mean ONYXCON. For real, for real. Like, it's so serious. Onyx is a Greek word that refers to a stone, okay? And the stone it's a weird story, but I still like the story because of this, you know, it's mythology, it's ancient mythology. It's how people took a story to tell you about something so you don't forget it and give something significance in the human consciousness. But one of the cherub characters was playing around one of the sleeping goddesses, and he cutting her toenails. And I always laugh about that because I was like, damn, she must have had fungi, because why would her nails be all them colors? Because onyx is not just solid black. The most prized form of onyx is the solid black form, right? But then there's all these other colors. There's quartz inside of, wherever you find onyx, there's typically quartz and some of the other elements. I forget the other ones that make the other color. And then there's different colors of what they call onyx. Like there's green onyx, there's like a golden color, there's a brown light color. So just looking at a situation play out as I was walking. This dog walking behind this car off a leash. Got a leash on, but ain't nobody holding a leash, and the damn dog is all behind the car while the car backing up. I'm like, y'all trying to get the dog hit? What's going on over there? Y'all weird. Anyway, weirdness, y'all, weirdness. But any dog fanatics, don't worry, the dog didn't get hit. It's just a goofy looking scene. And I ain't have time to pull my phone off and go off here and do that video, because I could have probably turned that into a short. I catch the moments, man. The art, the stuff that tells the stories of life. That's art. That's why I give y'all all this multi-niche content, because it can't be one lane. But as I was saying about the, as I speak of multi, it's multi-colored colors. And in the concept of the constructs, because that's what they are. When people talk about race and say, oh, the black people, the white people, the yellow people, man, those are constructs. Those are constructs. The truth of humanity is our genetic codes and our cultures. That's what makes us who we are. That's truly what makes us who we are. But for the sake of colloquial conversation, it just will not die because it's so societal and ingrained. Speak of black, white, red, yellow, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, I've made the philosophy. I say, okay, y'all want to talk all this black. Okay, I'll tell you what. ONYXCON, onyx is always first thought of as black, mainly. So that's the core, and it should be, because, you know, if you want to speak of it in racial, at the essence of all humanity was the original African peoples, the first black people on the planet, the first humanity, all right? Now, there's mix and mingle with other groups that evolved with and inside of the spectrum, because if you really go all the way back to evolution, which I do salute that concept, not from some racist, eugenics-based BS, you know, Darwinism garbage, none of that. Yeah, I dissed all of them at the same time. Did you feel that? Yes, 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 yes. They can all go to hell if they on some racial shit that's backwards and limiting and stifling and on purpose trying to create caste systems and bullshit. No, we ain't with none of that. Yeah, this is true woke over here. True. W-O-K-E. Understand it. The original woke. You know, the one that Leadbelly talked about. Yes, I said the blues singer's name. Look it up. It's real history. Anyway. So, yeah, you know, when people did all that with it, it's just, you know, the human error. But when you get to the facts, when you just get back to the essence, right? And you understand, okay, at the core, you got that African rhythm. At the core, you got that African spirit. Then you got everybody else in this human, beautiful family. And we are one, whether you like it or not. It don't matter what you like. What is, right? So I'm saying that's it. And that's the diversity we speak to. That's the infrastructure we have been pushing and have always been building and what we stand on. That's what ONYXCON is about. It's always understanding that core, but we for everybody who can respect that core. That's the key part though. You gotta respect it. You can't be like, oh, you know, whatever, I just come over here and get what I want and, you know, take and never give back because I don't really feel like I'm a part of this. No, if you understand what it is to be a human being, you really understand what I'm saying, you in anyway, but you got to be genuinely respectful. You can't be on some, oh, I just like to party with y'all, but I don't really like y'all kind of BS. No, you got to know folk. You got to understand folk, you know, then we on level, you know? And that's a lifetime commitment, quite frankly, because, man, like I said, for the cultures, it's so diverse. Sometimes we got a hard time understanding our damn selves. Ooh, how deep you want to get today. We'll be back later, y'all.